Hello there, my mate Vince here, back again on another Advent Potential Fix. And in this one we're going to be looking at this Princess Juicer. It looks like a brand new item, but it's not working. So you're supposed to slice your lemon or your lime or your orange in half, put it on here, there's different sizes. That must be for limes and lemons, and that must be for oranges. And then you're supposed to put down the top here. It's supposed to rotate, and then the juice is supposed to collect in here. All the pulp and everything is supposed to be kept in this little metal container here. And this is a nice bit. You do this, and it flows out. And then when you've had enough, you can close it again, and then it stops the flow. But look, it's just humming. It's not spinning. So if I plug it in and turn it on, when you pull the lid down, it's supposed to turn it on. But listen, it's just making a humming noise, and there's no turning going on. So this is supposed to spin here, because you can see it's like a hexagon. But when we press that down, it's not turning. It's just making a humming noise. So let's take it apart and see, why is the motor not turning? What is jammed in there? Well, I paid £12.60 for this, and I don't know why, but I thought it was a lot smaller in the photos. It really is a bit of a beast. So yeah, it looks quite nicely made, I have to say. Of course, I am unplugged. Right now, let's see how this all comes apart. See, that's the mechanism there. Can you see there? There's just a little bit of silicone, a little seal, and it stops that. So this can fill up with liquid, and only then will it pour out. It's just that it's quite hard to do. Do you really want to be putting your thumb in somebody else's drink? You know, it doesn't look very nice, does it? Should be a little, I don't know, maybe a little ring pull or something here, just to pull down. I'm not sure how they would make that better, but you know what I mean. If you went to somebody's house and they went to the effort of making you a lovely orange thing, and then they put their thumb in there, I think some people would be a bit like, oh. Right, well, I can see little rubber things here, so maybe there's screws there, and there's definitely screws here. So should we start at the bottom? Also, it looks like this has been stuck on, so maybe this was because it's been returned. But the very fact the handle's metal is nice. Seems to be a little bit of signs of use. I can see a little bit of corrosion or dirt on one of the screws, this one here, and also I can see a bit of food residue there. So maybe it has been used. Oh yes, they're going to come out. Ugh, has definitely been used. Yucky. Yeah, around here. Well, that's going to need a good clean. Yeah, look at that. Yeesh. Well, that's just normal, isn't it? Right, I can give that a good wash. That's seal. Oh, we have a big AC motor. So the on and off switch is working, it's just the motor's deciding not to turn, just hum. So I wonder, it must be going through a gearbox, otherwise it's going to be turning way too fast. So I think there's going to be a problem with the gearbox, unfortunately. So I'm trying to work out now how I think I have to undo these hidden ones here. I think there's going to be ones underneath here. Yes, there is. Nice little plugs. And there's more crosshead screws down here. Okay, now, is that going to allow this to come out, I wonder? Yes, this is all loose now, so where are we going? Are we going up? Yes, we're going up. Excellent. Right, well, let's loosen off this lead here, because it can't go up because of the lead. Oh, I've got stickiness everywhere. Hopefully now we'll have plenty of room to work in here because we can pass the whole thing through. Here we go. Right, let's get rid of this. That can come out here as well for washing, you just push that through. Right now, Vince, what's going on here? Looks like there was a little bit of rubbing there. So it's to do with the gearbox. Oh, here we go. It's turning now. What's that about? No, now it's locked. Now it's turning. Now it's locked. Let's have a look, maybe it will become obvious. Oh, 100% it's not new. Presume that goes there. So this is just for the on and off switch. I can just about see some contacts in here. And then when you press down, it makes those contacts there. So that's all working. So we need to get into the gearbox side of it. So I'm going to go for the top because I don't need to undo the motor. Oh, unless of course the motor's not spinning. Maybe the gearbox is okay and it's the motor that's not spinning. Okay, here we go. Right, now what are we looking for? So this looks very scratched up, but that is just grease. So the scratch marks are just on the grease. A little bit of black hair there. Well, that seems to be spinning very nicely. Oh, but then it's getting caught. It spins, but then gets caught. Why? Let's put that there. So there's nothing to do with that. That's spinning nice. So look there, it's caught. And even that's catching. I think it's a motor problem. I think it seems loose. Okay, let's undo these massive screws, take the motor out. I think whatever the top bearing is, I think the top bearing's gone. So I don't think I'm going to have anything successful on this one. So that feels nice. Can I take this off here? No. So I've got to take off, let's leave that a minute. Let's take off these two. I'm going to bend that back before I forget about it as well, just so it's not shortened or anything. Okay, here we go. So you can see how that works. When you press it down, you're just pressing that contact there onto that contact, and you're just going from the brown wire onto this black wire. Yeah, there's on a little spring there, so that's definitely working fine. And then the black wire goes into the motor, and then the other black wire goes straight from the neutral on the plug. So now, why are you jamming up? To begin with, it looks quite dirty at the top here. It looks quite black. So it's had a lot of metal shaving on it. There you go, you can see it there. That's not good. I don't think that's grease. I think that is worn metal. Yeah. So I think this top one here is worn. See, we've got grease here as well, have we? Yeah. I think there's too much play there. I don't think I can fix this. I wonder, is it the same size fan as in the Honeywell unit? I think it's going to be bigger than the one that's in the... Well, actually, do you know what I could do? I'll tell you what we'll do. Are these reversible? These look reversible. So why don't... Oh no, they're different here. They're different here because they're going to slot in, aren't they? Hold on. Do we need the top ones? Let me just have a little look a second. We don't need the top ones anyway, so who cares about the top ones? As long... Oh no, we do need them because that's what they screw into. They've got a machine thread. Ah, I can't swap them over. Unless, I'll tell you what I could do. I could swap them over. I could put the screws in from the top. Now that's an idea. Because then I think if it's wobbling at the bottom, it won't be quite so important. I think there's more strain on the top, maybe. Now, is there any way of taking this motor off? I mean the gear. I need to take it off. Yes. There we go. Nice, it's on a spline. Right, so take that off. Let's give this a clean. So basically, I think this middle one's warm because look how clean the bottom one is. Look how dirty that one is. And do you know what it could be from? Do you reckon it's from pushing down the top too hard? And then we'll have to see when it's back together. I wonder when you push down the top too hard, does it... I wonder, does it put everything at a slight angle? Yeah, because maybe because it's hinged here and it goes down, maybe it's kind of not pushing straight down. It might be pushing outwards ever so slightly. And I think they've used too much pressure. And I think that's why it's gone like this here now. Because that's all worn metal. So we'll keep this one for the top. So I suppose the bottom line is, it isn't really fixable. You'd either need a new motor or, well, you need one of these, but I don't reckon you'd be able to buy that on its own. I think you'd probably have to just get a new motor. So it's a case of, unless you want to buy a new motor, and I don't know how much they're going to be, it'd be interesting to do this to see if it works. And if it does work, I wonder how long it will work for. Because I think if it's not abused, I can't see why it wouldn't keep on working. I think it's just habit. It's just nice to just force it down. In fact, I watched a review of this and it was a guy with a couple of kids doing it. And he kept saying to the kids, don't press down too hard on it, because I suppose it's just nice, isn't it? Like, you know, you think it's going to get more juice out. But if it's rotating, I suppose you don't need to. The only reason I'm cleaning this up is because I don't want the metal and the grease wearing down another components, the back of it, overly quick. I do need to buy myself some grease. Right, so I think that there is going to be thinner than that there. In fact, maybe I've convinced myself, but I think you can even see it. That is thinner than that, isn't it? It's definitely more rounded at the very least. Right, let's see if I can swap them over. So we are going, this is going to be up here. So this is the, no, this is the top here. Like that. So the nice one's going to go up top here, like so. That's going to go up through. I have to put this here. Like so. Now we're getting a good one there. Like that. And that's going to be there. Now the plate is going to be at the bottom. So let's put these in from the top. I think everything is going to still clear. Okay, so that's turning lovely. Let's see when we put the gear back on whether it bites or not. Which way does it go back on? Because it matters, doesn't it, with this. Was it this way? I'm not sure now. Is that the correct way? So it goes that way. Let me just see if it goes the other way as well. Oh no, I'm confused now. Wait a minute. So that's going from towards that way. Oh, so it's the same either way round. I'll put the dirty side down because that must have been where it got the dirt from. Okay. Well, I presume that's it at the bottom of the splines. Now, is that going to seize up? No, it's not. Look. Remember before it was seizing? I know I haven't put the screws in yet. Right, before I do that, I want to put some 3-in-1 oil there. I know that's not the best, but it's the best of what I've got at the moment. Right, so I'm going to put some in here. Hopefully that will work its way through. And I'm going to put some here as well. Okay, just wipe off the excess. Well, if you look at that now, remember before it was jamming, and now it's not. And I don't know which way it rotates. Oh, actually, I was told with AC motors it can go either way. So maybe, and I never knew this, I was also told in the comment section, but I haven't tried it out yet, that the bottom of a microwave bit that spins, the bottom bit, that can also sometimes go clockwise and counterclockwise because it's AC. And that's why on that electric clock that I did, I called it a self-starter. And I suppose it does kind of start it, but it's starting it in the right direction. So because it's on a clock spring, it can only go one way. So it will always put, because otherwise your clock would be going backwards. So it would always put your clock the correct way. So maybe with this, one time it will spin clockwise, you know, this thing here, and another time it might go counterclockwise or anti-clockwise. Well, look, it's not locking up now. It sounds a bit noisy, but maybe that's normal. Right, let's put this back on here. Now let's see if this is going to turn. Yes, it is. Brilliant. Okay, So now, there's nothing wrong with doing that there, is there? Because they're not going to be magnetic anyway. And yeah, you can still take everything apart. It's just been screwed in from the other side. So I can't see why there's a problem with that. That's still going right the way through. It's not falling short. And, you know, the gear up here seems to be in the right place. I know that's going to work. Right, what I'm going to do is I just want to give this a nice good wash because this is filthy. And I'm going to wash my hands as well. I'll have to show you this in an upcoming video. I've basically modded it to have the biggest battery any one of these would ever have. And now I love it. I'm using it all the time. I've only got it on the lowest setting. But right now this has been, I fixed this on the 2nd. I tried to fix it and failed. I went back to it, I think, on the 3rd or 4th. I did film it, so I'll put it on another video. And there's not you know, just an added extra bonus footage. And honestly, it's one of my favourite fixes. I love it. Because I'm just using normal hand washing it, and the hand wash is never this frothy unless I was to kind of do this for ages. But with this now, it's been so reliable. Hasn't let me down yet. And I don't know the charge of the battery, but put it this way, it's a 3000 milliamp hour battery. The one that was in there was probably some piece of rubbish. And now it took it took I think 12 hours to charge. And I've got a feeling it will probably last me 6 months or something on one charge. So yeah, I'm loving it. So even though I said I wasn't going to do anything with it, I went back to it again. Okay, I'm just going to put all this back together now.
Rusty red on her shoulder, I was cleaning her shoe when it clicked on the trot over in the bright morning dew. We brushed and we braided dandelions and chewed. It was a mutual arrangement we both saw into. Can she walk in the fire?
Put that at the bottom there. Is that not just going to fall straight out? Oh, look, it's supported by... Ah, that's interesting. It's supported by this, maybe to stop people putting too much force down. Because maybe they're going to break the motor and the, you know, away from the gearbox. You know, the plastic at the top. That's interesting that they've reinforced it with that. That's definitely what that is. So it goes there. Yeah, that fits perfectly on there. Right, I'm going to put it on a new kink here, so it doesn't, you know, damage the old bit of wire.
You turned in the canyon to the snowbank where I fell. Even still, I remember knowing she could feel it too. Was a mutual arrangement. We both knew what to do. She had a star on her forehead that was easy to find. When I let down her bridle, saw into her hazel eyes.
Right, we are back together. Excellent. Right, now, let's see, are you going to spin now? So, in there. Here. And here. So, we should, well, we should hear, it should sound different. Here we go. Here we go. You ready? Ah, yes. Look, can you see that spin? I don't believe it. What? You're jammed? Oh, how gutting.
Ha ha.
Oh no. I was sure that would have fixed it. Do you know what it must be? It must be the motor itself sticking to the magnets either side. rather than play. The bottom bit now must be sticking. Oh no! It's not fixable. Yeah. Do you know what? I thought that was really going to be a fix because I thought it was wobbling at the top and the gears were getting jammed. It's not, it's the motor itself which is humming because the middle bit's sticking. It's not allowing it to spin. The magnetic field's just pulling the middle, you know, the rotary bit to the side. Gutted. Honestly, I thought that was going to be a great fix. I was going to say it's the kind of fix you would have done back in school, you know, if your parents had something. And then back then it would have been near enough impossible to get spare parts for something like this. Washing machines fine and fridges, but not like this. Unplugged again. It needs a new motor. I'm going to have one more look just in case there is anything I can do. But I know the answer is there's not. I'm just going to type into Google AC motor bearing bracket just to see if anything comes up. No, they're for much bigger motors and they would be more expensive than actually buying this device working. Well, that is disappointing. 100% though, that gearbox was not turning properly when that bearing was at the top because there was too much play and it wasn't meshing properly. Anyway, I strip it all down now. Let's get the readings off the actual motor to see how much a replacement one is. U3067 maybe? Oh, here we go. 6235C. Let's just see how much they are. Just in case they're like £3, then I won't waste my time on it. That's interesting. It's not bringing anything up. It's bringing up ice cream makers. Let me get rid of this first bit. No, it's all about ice cream makers. Okay. I'm going to type in this one here just in case. I mean, that is the one there, but just in case this means anything. No, again, it's not bringing up anything. See, there will be some circumstances where you can't get spares for something, or you might live in a country where spares are really expensive compared to wages. So sometimes bodging, getting something working again, even if it's for a short amount of time, is viable. Right now, Vince, what's going on here? So, to me, it's like the whole thing. Do you know what? I don't think it's the middle thing that's worn. I think it's around the edge. Let's dismantle this, because it might be interesting to see what it's like on the inside. So this looks like it's pressed in. I wonder will that pop out or not? I think it's worn around here, around the edge. I wonder would that rubbishy fan that I did, you know, the cheap fan that you can get for like £7 or £8, I wonder would that, the desktop fan, I wonder would the motor be the same size or would it be much bigger? I'm pretty sure the other one that I got would probably work, the Honeywell one. This is where the play is. Yeah, that's not just turning. That's you know, that's play. See, if I was to crush these in, do you reckon a lot of too much force, hold on, this was the top. Do you think too much force has been put down and it's forced these outwards? If I was to get a screwdriver and whack them back in, that would stop this play here, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. We only have to get it so it's spinning, because we've got the one on the top is in good condition. And then as long as I don't use it really whacking it down hard, I think it still could be a lasting fix without getting a new motor. Let's get Marcel's vise out. And in this instance, I'm going to get rid of the rubber. Right, is that going to hold? And if I was to give that a few whacks with the hammer, didn't hold very long. Let's put it in that groove down low. Here we go. I don't actually know how hard this stuff is. Well, I think it's tighter. Let's have a look on here. I'm not sure if I've made it ever so slightly oblong. 1 minute. Don't know how soft the middle bit is, you see. There's still a lot of play, but now the play seems to be not on the edge, but on the actual, you know, the middle bit. The actual bearing part, the middle bit. Let me see if it's better or not. Don't know, it might be a bit better. It might be a bit better. I think really we need to test this. I can test this out of circuit by just doing this here, can't I? And just hopefully this isn't going to spin round and spin off the table. I could put it in the vise, couldn't I? I don't want to have to keep taking it apart, you see. Those fingers are definitely tighter on it now though. The fingers did seem to be a little bit loose. And I think that would make sense, because when you're pressing down on here, you're pushing the... I suppose it depends. Are you really pushing that or not? No, it should be just going right through. If anything, you're pushing the bottom one more. I'm not sure. Well, let's see. I wonder how much that's going to kick. I mean, it's pretty heavy. I don't think that's going to run straight off the table, if I'm honest with you. So, if I keep my hands well clear and just do that, then this should be spinning without touching anything here. Now, I know it's not attached to any gearbox, so it's going to be easier to spin. I just want to see if it does that magnetic hum. Right, okay, let's see. I just want to see how much it's going to kick, covering my face. Here we go. Let it stop. See, it's working. I wonder when it's on the gearbox, will it still work? Because if remember I thought I fixed it, but I didn't. And my second theory was that because the bottom one was so loose, the middle was just hitting against the magnet a bit at the side. Surely that would happen regardless of load at the top. Don't know. Also, does it ever go the other way? So at the moment it's always going this way round, clockwise when facing it. That was also clockwise. Do you know what? No, this isn't the same as the motor, is it? That was in the other one. This isn't the same. So I suppose the magnetic field determines which way this one goes round. Well, look, it's doing it now. So let's unplug it. Nothing there. And let's put the gearbox back on and see if you are still going to work. Now I've got no way of testing it now, because if I press that down, you see, this is going to want to turn, so I won't be able to hold on to it. So I've got to put it back together. But I won't do all the screws up. But I'll just have this rested here just for a bit of support. But I won't do any of the screws up. Well, let's see now if it's going to give me a little bit longer than it did before. Plugging it in now. Come on. Brilliant. I wonder what it sounds like when it's brand new.
Definitely quieter.
You know what? I bet it's just as noisy.
It's not.
Right, okay. So I put all the screws back in. I think it's as good as we're going to get it. I bring it out to the kitchen and I clean all the bits that come apart, like all the orange tray and the handle at the top and stuff like that. Right, I've just given everything a lovely, nice clean, ready for some oranges tomorrow. And I was just thinking to myself, these are the same motors that are in the fans, all very similar motors that are in the fans. And I understand how a fan could wear out, because maybe it could be on for hours and hours and hours each day. But I don't understand how this could wear out, because how often are you going to be using it? You can't be using it as much as a fan, because you would spend an absolute fortune on oranges. So the only thing I can put it down to is putting too much pressure down. It must be that. It must be just too much pressure down, because normally, if you think about how many times that motor's going round in a year, surely that's going to only equal maybe 3 days off a fan in the summer, for example. Because, you know, you're going to do this, aren't you? Like, well, we'll see when I get the oranges tomorrow, but I'm sure you're only going to have to hold it down for maybe 20 seconds or so per half an orange. So that motor isn't spinning much at all. So I think all this is to do with forcing it down too much. And if that's the case, and if I don't force it down too much, I actually can't see why that repair wouldn't last. Because as long as I'm not going to push those fingers back out again, I think it should stay put, because the motor should be happy spinning where it is. But you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I think the wear is all to do with too much force down.
The next day.
Okay, here we go. I've got some oranges now. I've got a couple of bags. So you're going to see the real thing. If I turn it on now and it breaks after one go, that's it. I can't do no more. We know it needs a new motor, but the little bit of Google searching that I did, I can't find this motor, but clearly it exists. I think I just need to look on AliExpress. I think it said it's 300 watts. I think it said at the bottom it was 300 watts. So yeah, I'm sure I will be able to find the motor. But I think if I'm gentle with it and don't put much pressure down, I think it may work. Right, here goes. Now, I'm not even going to try it. I'm just going to go straight for the orange. We're going to go across the orange because we're going to get more juice out of it. The one thing I remember in science when I was a kid is that when you add enzyme to the orange, it will break it down much more and get much more juice. So you can squeeze it all you like, or you can put some enzyme in, come back the next day, and you'll get twice the amount of juice because it breaks down the cells. It's one thing I remember. Right, okay, here goes. So we're going to put that in the middle like so. And let's see now, that's up. I can see it gathering. You know what, it is very tempting to put down a lot of pressure. It is very tempting. I think I need to put down more pressure than that. I think it's kind of, in a way, designed to fail. Yeah, I'm putting down quite a bit of force there now. Well, I wouldn't really say there's any more to get from that. I'd say that's pretty empty. Right, let's do one more. I'm just going to do one orange. I want to see how much we get from one orange. My aim's not very good. I'm not getting this in the middle. Well, I'm putting a fair bit of force down, and it hasn't stopped. And there you go. Look at that. That one's even better. Ooh, shall we see? Ooh. Am I going to get the whole cup? Perfect. Well, look at that. Actually, more comes out of one orange than I thought. It is an espresso cup, so bear that in mind. I haven't got particularly big hands. It's just a very small cup. Right, here we go. It's amazing, isn't it? That is so nice. And these are just co-op
Morrison's
oranges. You know, they're not organic, really expensive or anything like that. And that's going to taste nicer than any orange juice that you can buy in a carton. I presume it's to do with the freshness rather than the orange itself. Because as I say, these oranges I don't think are particularly high quality. They might be, I don't know. But that tastes phenomenal. That's lovely. You know what? I'm amazed that I managed to get that out of one orange. I truly am. So, but there's going to be one hell of a cleanup operation. I suppose if you wanted to, you could eat that as well, because that is just, I mean, I personally like the bits. Okay, it's filling me with more confidence now. This is the fourth orange, and basically, I'm going down hard, and it's still working. So beforehand, I was doing it really carefully, and now I'm going down pretty hard. And it seems to be doing a good job. Look at that. It's near enough empty. Now, I know it's wasteful, but not if you eat all that, and I will be eating all that because I like that. So, yeah, I think it's a bit of a winner. I shouldn't be doing this one hand. Oh, look at that. Only just fits. Perfect. Look at that. Milliliter perfect. So, I'm going to say that I think this is actually going to last. Maybe I could update you on the 24th of December. I'm planning a slightly bigger video with updates and stuff for Christmas Eve. So hopefully it should be fun. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. Fingers crossed, I will see you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.